Welcome to episode 1.5
1.5.
1.5. I'm a half.
of Talk Fable To Me. And today we have the Valkyrie and the Bard.
The Bard.
Woo! Okay.
Ooh.
So, Princess, who's the Bard?
The Bard. The Bard. Who is the Bard?
Who's
The
the bar?
Bard.
Who is he?
Who's the man inside the loot?
The Bard is the OG Fable employee. The Bard has been with us for a long time. What, 4 years?
Five.
Coming on to 5 years.
5
5
years. That's wild.
years.
We.
Wow.
There's no place like home. And now what you don't know is when you come and you start working for Fable, you sign an agreement that you're here for life.
You
And
do.
so you are now forever a Fableite. And
Yep.
that's who we
It's
are.
like that water company that you sell your soul to.
That's right.
What happens when you
That's
work for
basically
Fable.
what we did.
Water.
Yeah.
So how does it feel?
I didn't want to name drop. No free promos.
Yeah,
here.
no.
Except for this one. If you want to sponsor us,
Yes.
I am here for it.
Oh, yeah. Same.
Sponsored by
Because I
Fable
buy you
Beard
by
Co.
the case.
Yep.
Oh, which one?
Monster.
Monster.
Oh.
Yeah. I have a whole fridge outside. It's a
He
whole
does.
thing.
I believe it 100%.
Heart palpitations,
Um,
everything. I'm down.
we did
Yep.
talk about Fable energy drinks. I'm like
We
legit
did.
gonna look into
so
it.
like,
did.
side
He
note,
drinks enough of it. He could single-handedly. We just save money because he'd buy them in bulk enough to where we would just end up. We'd probably get bulk pricing.
I mean, yeah. Wholesale pricing for
Yeah,
one person.
wholesale pricing for energy drinks.
Yes.
But
Okay.
yes, how does it feel to be like 4 or 5 years deep?
I mean,
Can you believe what's
It's-
changed in 5 years?
it is insane. Like, I remember coming in, and it was just 3 people. I was like,
know.
oh man,
I
look at
know.
this place.
Whoa.
And just what used to be done in a day is now like by the hour what has to be done.
Isn't that so
So,
crazy?
it's
Like
like
batch
just like-
sizes and
It's amazing. It's crazy to see how much everything's grown and just
Even in the last year that I've been here, it's like,
even just a year, it's insane.
I know.
Yes.
I know it's so wild. And what's really fun about it for me though is like because you've seen what we did and now you see what we're doing. Like, can you imagine what's gonna be?
It's I've
know,
thought
like-
about it. It's like I'm just thinking like it's hard to like wrap my head around what will happen,
yeah.
but just seeing what's happened, it's like
See,
I could see just like huge, just like 1,000-gallon vats. Just
What
Now we have to be careful
No.
because Max has enough tea to be another Boston Harbor incident going down on Fable. He's got
true.
all the tea.
he's been here for so long.
Max does
Yeah.
have all the
He
tea.
does have all the tea. He's seen it
Yeah.
all. He's seen it all, folks.
You know what
It's true.
I always think about, and maybe it's just because I'm a little self-absorbed because I am a wizard and all. But I always think like I remember being in the lab with you guys. Like you said, there were like 3 people, and I'm still the same person I was then, and I'm constantly like, just wait till we do these big amazing things. We're gonna do all this crazy stuff. It's all gonna happen. It's all here. And back then you were probably like, yeah, but bro, there's 3 of us in one shelf.
It's like
You know
what I
you
mean?
have to believe. You have to believe so much, like of what you're doing. You have to believe it, and that's what we love about you all because we feel like you're in the belief team with us. We feel like you're
Yes.
living the dream with us, where you're like in it for what we're gonna be, not
Side
like
note,
necessarily what we are right now.
The TikTok, it's been going crazy. We've been doing all sorts of lives and everything else, and like being
It's
more
wild.
involved in the community. But as we're doing this, we're seeing this crazy halo effect where like all of the social accounts are like popping off. But
Yep.
it's funny because with these podcast clips that are happening, we actually get some wild like comments.
I know.
So on the
I've seen
note
some
of
of them.
like you guys being a part of the brand and like being really invested in the company, like the way I guess it clipped it out, it people assumed that like we were just like all owners.
Yeah,
And
I-
like you weren't employees.
Yeah.
And then they were like,
I saw
"Great,
that. I was
yeah,
like,
why don't they actually talk to real employees?
they were like,
And
why
I'm
don't they talk to the
what-
working class? I was like, I am the working class.
That's me.
That's me.
I mean, I feel like we're all the working class. Like,
Yeah, honestly,
we're,
though,
yeah,
yeah.
like we just are all
It's
working.
true.
It's so funny. I think, yes, it's really funny.
Yeah.
But we learned a lot.
Yeah.
We learned a lot along the way. I think what I love about our team right now is how everyone is owning their roles so much in what we're doing so that way we can grow, right? Because I feel like one of the biggest issues with growth is it's really hard to hand things off.
Oh, yeah.
Because people don't do it to the best of their ability, or maybe there's many reasons, right? But handing things off to a team and then trusting they're going to take care of it. And I feel like you all have done so much to own those roles, to be like, okay, I'm gonna own where I'm at to make sure you all can do the things you need to do, so that way we can get to bigger and better.
I think the hardest part about delegation in general is just like handing over expectations, more so than anything else, right? So like when we hand off stuff, like I basically expect like 70% of my expectations to come back. But like now, Max, that you're like stepping into this role inside the lab and you have more like people underneath you, do you feel yourself getting frustrated with like what you're asking and what you expect? Because like as an example, like you could be like, oh, I'm going to pour 500 butters. And you could do it in like an hour. But then I imagine probably you could ask someone else to do it. And you're like, what are you doing? It's been 5 hours and you have 2 butters done.
I will say, we have tasked Max to give us a report. And mind you,
see, I'm telling
his
you,
report, he's like, you are so, I will tell you, I love that because consistency is so important to me. And also like I feel like it's such, when I ask them to do something that's like what I think is pretty simple and they don't do it, I'm like, how could you not do that? You have been so good about it. But Max's numbers are always through the roof in comparison. And I notice I'm like, why
He's a good noodle.
Yeah,
that's why.
What? I don't know what that means.
Noodle. He's a good noodle.
Good noodle.
I know. I heard you. I don't know
noodle.
what it means.
like a good egg.
He just does a good job.
Okay,
Good noodle.
Yeah,
Golden star.
Yeah.
Egg Decatur.
yeah.
Okay.
That's why he's the boss. He's one of the bosses.
Do you get frustrated?
I want to hear Max. Do you get
I
frustrated?
want to hear this too.
I mean,
because he's always so pleasant and happy.
He is.
I'm a happy person. It's
Me
it's easier
too.
to tell people what to do when you're happy and you're not like yelling at people.
Yeah.
am with
It's
you
like,
on that.
It's way easier. It's like the carrot and the stick. You know?
The what?
You know, the
Tell
carrot
us.
and the
Carrot and
stick.
the stick.
What's the
okay.
carrot?
The
Share what
carrot,
the carrot,
the carrot is like being nice and the stick is like being mean.
Oh,
So it's like, it's, yeah.
I don't know about the carrot and the stick.
It is, yeah.
So it's like
I'm
the
gonna have to take
opposite of spare the rod, spoil the child.
Yes, I understand. Yep.
I don't understand that.
I don't understand either.
That's okay. You're not
It's
a
an
dad yet.
old-timey. Yeah, I know that term.
But I mean, I don't get frustrated, but I with what you said, you expect 70% back. I kind of have realized that you shouldn't expect like the same level because, you know, I've been here for so long. I kind of know everything. I can just do something and it get done super quick. But it's like the understanding that other people haven't been here for, past a year, past 2 years even.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's like they're still getting into a phase where they can, you know,
I think certain
hit what I
people's skill sets
expect, I
too. I
guess.
think you just recognize who can handle certain things.
And sometimes it takes just some time, which I feel like we've discovered that is that it takes some time to like put people in places and kind of
I
see how they
hate that.
do. I know.
I hate it because like my brain is so focused on like
Let's go.
mock Jesus status
Yeah.
of speed of
Yeah.
what we're doing, right? And then so when anybody comes in for like new hires or whatever, I'm like expecting them to like kind of low-key be a 4-year employee already, but like we have to wait. But I'm like, the business isn't gonna wait
I know.
for you guys.
I know. It's so
hard.
tough. You have to find where people are like really good at something. And sometimes it just takes some like puzzle piece movement
Puzzle
and
piece
adjustment.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
they might be
Yeah.
really good in fulfillment. They might be, you know, not good in fulfillment, but amazing in the lab and yada, yada. So sometimes it just takes some.
You do have
Some
to
trial
kind of
and
work.
error.
At,
Yeah.
You do have to work at. It's the thing about the lab and what I think people. So we didn't even really get to the really the nitty gritty of it, but the Bard over here, he's responsible for making sure all your products are made correctly. So not only is he making them, he's also
Head of product
overseeing people.
manufacturing.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
He's overseeing those who are also making them. So when your product comes in wrong, it's his fault.
It's his
Max's fault.
Yeah.
We just know how
It's
to blame.
100% his fault.
We're just gonna blame Max.
Yeah.
But on top of that, it's a really big job because I'm not going to say you can't mess it up. We've had people mess it up, but it's not really super hard to label something. Like
No.
it really don't have to have much experience in
but
life to
some-
label
some
something.
still come upside down
It
or
happens.
like on the
There
whole
are
wrong
mistakes.
ass product.
And
It happens.
and that is
Very
what
rarely, but it happens.
it does happen. But there's not a whole lot. Like you can't really. But you can, if you are not paying attention, you could really mess up some products. You can mess up a batch.
Especially
you can,
when
Oh,
we're
yeah.
doing stuff
Yeah.
like keeping the same label sizes across different product SKUs.
Yes.
So like you really have to make sure you're not labeling 600 oils as butters, you know, that kind of stuff.
Done that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Done that. Had to relabel all of
But
them.
what you all listening can understand is that we are supporting real people in this. We are really handmade, and we are small enough to where you're getting personal touches. So if you got a butter label, that's love. That's love.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
special.
I
You're
lovingly
special.
put that wrong label on there.
But it's fun. Like
Yeah.
our customer
That was
base
for you
is
to
so
collect.
engaged, and like we've done such a good job, in my opinion, of like community development within our brand and like actually building a brand versus just a product, that when they come out there, they're just like, oh, I'm gonna add that one to my oopsie collection.
Yeah.
Like they don't even get mad. They don't return it.
I
They're
know.
just
It's
like,
like, it's
oh,
a
this was
collectible.
fun. It was
Yeah.
like, hey, I could put this on the website now and just
Yep.
like, you know.
I
get
will
some
say
accolades.
there have been a few times, and I do question like how certain things happen. I'm like, how in the world did we do that?
yeah. I also,
yeah, but they happen. Mistakes happen.
Yeah.
And I think we all are really good about like, okay, one thing about me, I literally don't care if you make a mistake. I don't care if you make a mistake, as long as you take accountability that you've made a mistake.
We've
right?
talked about this before.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
Accountability
could
is
care.
everything.
I make mistakes 1,200 times a day.
Yep.
But I'm like, oh, that was my fault. And it's okay. And just like I made a mistake, I'm not going to do it again. Great. The wizard does it all the time. And I'm like, great, we won't do that again. Like we've learned our lesson. It's time to move on. But when you're like, I never do anything wrong. I am the most perfect human being that's ever walked the planet. This
never
mistake
make a
couldn't
mistake.
possibly be mine. Could never. Like
Yeah.
I can't stand that. That is like one pet peeve.
Crystal called me out last week on the fact that I actually have a GUI center on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, especially,
He's soft.
I
The
imagine
wizard
this
is
is
soft.
probably you guys hear things obviously that we don't like. We're the owners, right? We're scary, you know, to
Yeah.
some people. However,
I don't think we are.
we're not.
No, definitely not.
But I know the dynamic,
Yep.
and it's there regardless. So I would say that I'm just curious, has that gotten worse as we're not there as frequent?
But they're also
like,
the
did
bosses.
we become more scary, like just like showing up like once every couple days
I don't think
versus like
anyone
being in
is
there all
scared
the
of
time?
I'm gonna be totally honest that I feel like since being put in like leadership roles,
Mm-hmm.
that it starts to happen to us too. At least I feel it with
Yeah,
me,
yeah.
where
Yeah.
at least I know that people are talking
You're
about
like,
things,
they talking
but they
shit.
don't want to talk to me about it. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because it's like a leadership role type thing.
Absolutely.
There's always gonna be a level of that though, for
Absolutely.
sure.
Yeah.
But
And I think you have to expect it.
but I
because-
felt that shift happen when like when you guys put me in like a leadership role.
Yeah.
I felt that dynamic change pretty quick. I was like, okay, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna hear certain things as
Right.
often
Yeah.
now.
And
Yeah.
realistically, there's just going to be more and more, right?
Yeah.
Right. I think
you
it's
feel that way?
funny.
Not as much.
Yeah.
But I think it's because with what I do, it's a lot more like in a, I don't want to say personal.
He's
but
in the warehouse.
Yeah.
I'm-
Yeah.
I'm with,
You're also
I'm
all-
with the-
He's in the
Bunch of
back
boys.
end.
He's in the
He's in the-
control.
he's in the
Yeah, he's
kitchen.
in the controlled environment. But I think it will be a thing the more people we bring on. Like, you know, especially when you have to just maybe say something. Like I said, we all make mistakes, but like a tougher conversation. Hey, this isn't right. We have to fix it. Like nobody, even if you're like, man, it isn't. Like no one wants to hear that still. It's still like
Yeah.
a bummer. And you have to be the person to be like, you made this wrong.
Yeah.
You made this wrong. We got to fix this. Or, you know, we dropped a bunch of oil all over the ground. Now we have to clean up an oil spill.
I've only seen Max mad
It's Valdez.
like twice. I've only seen Max mad like twice, and it is very frightening.
Is it all
I'm just
related
gonna put
to?
it out there.
Is it all related to oil spills?
No, there's okay, and it goes back to with what you said with taking responsibility. There was a certain thing that happened with a cologne batch at one point, where it was basically when it comes to coloring them, you know, we pick out we pick out the colors, we get it all situated. You go do, 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 with your droppers, put it on, and it's all written down. It's honestly, it's the easiest part. It's the one part you kind of can't mess
That's
up.
because it's already written down.
Because it's written down. That's it. It's already there. And it got messed up. And they said, I put in the right one. I don't know why it's the wrong color. I'm like, what do you mean you put in the right one? So I go get a uncolored one, and I put in the exact one, and it's right. I'm like, are you sure you put the right one in? It's like, yes, I did.
That's not how colors work.
That's not how colors
How
work.
colors work.
You put the wrong one. And they insisted,
It made Max very mad.
I was
It made him
very
very mad.
upset.
I would get
Because
that,
it's
like,
so
when
easy to be like,
yeah.
oh man,
It's
I
like-
messed it up. And it's like,
it's not a
okay.
big
But
deal.
it's ridiculous. Like when I was in nursing, that kind of stuff would happen, especially like in the charge nurse role. I'd be like, hey, are you sure you didn't give Miss So-and-so this? And they're like, yeah, totally. I'm like, she's passed out in her bed.
You did.
How did that happen? Because like, just tell me so I can make sure she doesn't unalive.
I think she got up and got it herself.
Yeah, like, no.
No.
You
Yes.
can tell.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That was a good time. But yeah, Max mad is a thing I don't like to see. It makes me scared.
Well-
I'm like, Max is mad. Something's very wrong.
Yeah,
Something's very wrong.
that is
The earth shifted.
No,
think-
genuinely, yeah.
I think it is taking accountability. I think it's also not only taking accountability just to admit, like, hey, I've made a mistake, because like I said, everyone does. So like we're all like, we can all fix it. We can all do it. It's fine as long as we are aware, but also being somewhat, I don't want to say remorseful. That's not what I mean, but more of just like wanting to improve on the fact that you've made a mistake. And there are certain people that just literally don't want to.
Yeah.
They're just whatever, like, I made a mistake. And then it's just, they're not like, oh man, now I know.
It's like what we talked about last time. It's like you can tell when somebody genuinely like cares and has
Right.
passion for what they do, and people who are, just
Right.
there to be there.
Right. And
Yeah.
you're always
Which is-
going to have
which is
a
fine.
It's
hierarchy of
fine. We
roles.
have a couple here that
Yes,
I kind of
which
feel
is
that
fine.
way about, and it's fine.
But you can tell like when
I just
somebody
can't have as
yeah,
much fun with them.
It's true. You can't pick on them as much either.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Because but that's okay. But we have ones that we feel like are genuinely vested in where we're going. And that's why we do need people to be in charge, because we need to know that we can entrust that when we work really hard for our customers and we're they're putting their trust in us. Really, at the end of the day, they're all our employers. They're our employers. And if they are unhappy, everyone will be unhappy, because they're who pay the bills, right? Like they're the ones giving,
Yes.
they're giving their hard-earned dollars to us and entrusting that we're going to give them quality products in return.
Further, though,
And if the batches come out wrong, then, we have to fix that. That's our goal. We have to fix that.
the princess and I, we're in like a big chess game. Like, so like you have day-to-day operations, and if we know in the back of our mind that that's just controlled and taken care of, and
Makes things a lot
it
easier.
makes things a lot easier. If I know that products are made and I don't have to worry about that at scale, especially when we're doing, hundreds of thousands of, bottles of products, and it's taken care of, then I can do things like plan on, like, does the wizard have to go in a box in the middle of New York City and drive around? Like those kind of things have to happen, and they happen in so far in advance that when those little things like, oh no, ship station's broken, I'm like, cool, can you fix it?
Handle it, please. Yeah.
Because like I'm doing stuff.
I have a lot of other things.
That you
yeah.
and it's not that I can't do things, because I can come in and I can make oils. I can come in and make butters and just like do it. But I have to, the princess and I both have to do things that other people in the organization can't do.
Right.
They just can't.
Yeah. And time is money too.
Yeah.
It is. And I will say, the wizard is very linear focused. We discussed this morning, actually. He's very linear focused. So he's like task, 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 task. If his task brain is filled with like, I'm going to go and fulfill orders, or I'm going to go make product, if that is what he's doing, there are so many things that we don't do that need to be done, that truly he is the only one that can do it. Even
Yeah.
I'm like really bad with like API key integrations. Like if you want me to get on the coding side where I have to like install and integrate to make sure keys are working for data transfer, I'm
Nope.
messing it up. I'm
Yeah.
blowing up the world,
Yeah.
And so I just don't touch that. That's just not an area where I touch. He's like a ninja at it. And he'll be
Yeah.
like, give me 2.5 minutes. And then it's just like done. And he's like, I already did it. And I did all of them. And I'm like, how did you do that? Because he's like so hyper focused
Yeah.
that his brain can't stop until the
the
task is
ADHD
done.
superpower
But
that we were
then
talking about.
Superpower.
if I'm
But-
doing that, and then I get a message like from our customer service, Jim Bunny, bless her heart, and she's like, "Well, so and so customer,
She's just
wants
doing her
this."
job.
She's just doing her
Yes.
job, and I'm like, "Cool, you can give them $200 worth of product right now. I don't care because I'm doing something.
Busy.
Right?
Yeah.
You're busy.
I'm working."
No, it's there. Everyone is so great, but that is his brain is so much like that when we spend time doing other things, it is really difficult. Like, unfortunately, because we are a small team, things get missed, and we don't want that. We don't want that for our growth. We don't want that
Yeah.
for our consumer. We want to make sure that we are doing our part to everyone. We want to make sure that the cogs are all working together, which is why we have the leadership team in place.
Hooray.
Yes, yes.
Who's off?
Yes, who's off? But one thing, and like I said, the Bard is responsible for all product. He didn't start there. Where did you start?
Where did you start?
Yeah,
Matt?
where did you start? Home Depot.
Yeah.
Home Depot. So I remember it vividly. The first thing I ever did was label Marksman Bomb. That was the first thing
Aw.
I ever did, and I still remember it because
I'm
I
gonna
was
cry
like, just
today.
like,
I don't know why.
boop, 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 boop.
This
I
is
was
when the Bard had a
"Man, this
ponytail.
I did. I have long hair.
Mm-hmm.
I
You're
was
like, man, I'm gonna get bored.
I was.
It
that's-
sucks. Yeah.
Honestly, when I first started, I was like, this is so boring. I'm just putting stickers on product. But I'm like, that's kind of cool at least. You know?
Yeah.
That's the first thing I did was label Marksman Bomb. And that's basically all I did for like the first like month, 2 months is just
Well, because
label.
as we bring in new people, like you don't know their level of efficiency
Yeah.
is the
Yeah.
nice way to put it. So
Yeah.
like
No, it's true.
you just don't know where their skill set are. So you
Yeah.
kind of have to like, hey, can you put this card in an envelope? You know?
And he got to work with Andy. You are the
Aw.
only one that knows working with Andy.
Andy
Shout out
was-
to Andy.
Shout out
the
to Andy.
school teacher who's watching this and should be working for
I know.
Fable.
I want you
still.
to know. No, I'm not even.
Called
I'm
out,
not
yeah.
even joking. This is for everyone. Okay, we are a small business, and we would love to bring a lot of you on. We need more sales prior to doing that. We need
Yes.
to grow a little more prior to bringing everyone on.
Buy more stuff if
He
you want to
was
work
at,
here.
he
Yes.
was at a time we couldn't,
But-
you know.
The wizard, he judges everyone that doesn't work for Fable. I'm
Yeah.
like, we can't employ
Can't
the world.
hire
You
all-
stupid human.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
we're
like,
here.
he's like, it's way better here than at Home Depot. It's way better here than working at doing this. And I'm like, we can't. It doesn't matter because that's their job. We can't hire any more people. We can't. And he's like, no, that's dumb. They need to work for Fable.
It's
And I'm
true.
like, how is?
It's true. I get
How?
And
it.
I feel you know, it just wasn't the right time. It wasn't at the right place, and we never know what the future might hold. But at the time when when it was just the three of us, we were in a very different position. I mean, we were working in 1,000 square feet at the time.
Well, and you were still making the product.
I was still making
Or
the
a
product.
lot of it.
And when Andy, bless his heart, who is amazing at creative, he's super. I feel mad because he would fit so well into the organization now.
Yep.
But at the time, he's like, hey, I want to go be a drama teacher. This is going to make me more money. And like, I couldn't pay him.
And in
Yeah.
all
stay.
fairness, he also told us that when we hired him. He said, hey, I'm
True.
applying for
But I
teaching
choose
jobs.
to ignore that. Your dreams and stuff
Like,
don't
you're
matter
gonna
to
stay
me.
here. It's
Yeah,
fine.
he's like,
Yeah.
he's like, this is your dream now.
Yeah.
He signed your
Our life is
blood
a dream.
contract. You're
Your
here for
dream is
life.
here. Yeah.
Yes, no. But Andy was he was exceptional. And then after Andy came the Highlander. But Max is the only one that remembers
Side
that
note,
transition
Cam-a-lam.
period.
Cam, but who didn't? Cam is so reserved until he opens up into the beautiful flower that he is.
It's true.
It's
so true.
I for an entire 2 to 3 months, I called him Robert because that's his name, and he was like, people call me Cam. I'm like, cool. Why didn't you just
Why
tell
didn't you
me?
say-
Also,
anything.
why didn't anyone else tell us?
Yeah, nobody told me.
Thanks, Max.
I called him Robert for the longest time.
Oh, okay.
I called him Robberito.
Robberito.
And for the longest time, I was like, what a Robberito? Robberito. And
still
he was
call
like,
him
yeah, huh?
Do you still call him that?
Not often. I mean,
Not often.
And rarely, if you know.
Yeah. So
He's being a
Robert.
jerk. You're
Robert.
Bob.
So we have we've told you all that if the wizard picks on you, that means he loves you.
Yes.
I feel like if Max gives you a nickname, that means he loves you.
True.
But like if he doesn't,
Yeah.
if you don't have 4 variations, like start with one name, transition to
Man.
a new name, transition to a different name, eventually
Yeah.
transition to some sort of other species, then he doesn't love you.
It's
True.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's the most accurate thing I've ever heard in my
Yeah.
life.
Yeah. Totally.
TBH.
Yeah. So for those of you who meet the bard, if he calls you by your real name, that means okay, meh. And then like once, but that's
You're just
initially.
an earthling to me.
Yeah, initially you have to get the vibe before you can nickname.
I think
someone.
everybody in the lab has a nickname from you now, yeah?
Every single person
Yeah.
has a nickname. The only one, and here's the funny thing, I have nicknames for him, but I always still call him his first name just because
Is it Ryan?
Ryan.
Yeah.
I just because like every time I think of a nickname for him, I call him that, and it's like
Doesn't fit.
He just doesn't feel-
for him. Is some people just don't like I get the nicknames for them. I call them a nickname, but then it's like
I mean,
it
I
just
think
doesn't
Rye
feel-
Guy sticks.
Rye Guy.
Rye
stuff.
Guy,
yeah.
yeah.
Because he is like the shy guy from
Yeah.
Mario.
Yes.
Like,
Yes,
100%.
Rye Guy.
He could be him.
Yep.
Yeah, but
My nickname
It's changed.
has changed many
it's
times.
well, here's,
Many
here's
times.
The
You
deal.
have had variations.
Yeah.
What
upon
I did when
variations.
it was very important to me that you guys be like together as a team, and part of that from the very beginning was having these text message groups.
Yeah.
So everybody can just like be friendly with each other at
Yeah.
work. Because like I would work in places at some point in time where like you were there for your 8 hours and then you pretended those people didn't exist.
Yeah.
And it was mutual both ways.
That is
and it
not
was terrible.
Fable.
But it's not Fable.
No.
What little did I realize that at the creation of these text message groups, they would turn into fever dreams. There are times because I have them on silent now because they go so much. So I just like check in instead of
you're
like
"Hi."
get notified.
Yep.
And I'll open it up and I'm like, we are 400 messages deep about Crystal's forehead.
Yeah.
What is going on?
Yeah. It's true.
Uh-huh.
It's wild. Yeah.
I
The
am
text message
so-
thread is a fever dream.
I am so grateful for you, Crystal. I am so grateful for you
I'm so grateful for you.
because my thing was pinging, but because I don't know I don't know how these boys would channel this energy if you weren't around. Like, could you imagine if you were just like super sensitive and you like couldn't handle
Oh,
anything?
I used to get defensive for Crystal back in the day, low key. Like,
He was like, she's a girl. I don't want her to.
yeah,
Well, what
like,
he was
when we were
afraid is that you were going to
working
like run
closer together, I was
away.
there,
I get
You
that.
were
and,
going to
like-
run away and
and
leave
then,
us.
like, the
He's like, don't make her
Highlander
leave.
Would like make an out of pocket comment about like artwork or stuff. I was like, shit, fuck, she's a girl. What's wrong with you?
Stop talking to her like that. Yeah.
And now it's just kind of evolved. Like,
Yeah.
everybody-
Now the
everybody
wizard
knows.
picks on her more than anyone. Probably.
It's true.
realistically.
I am
Yeah.
picked on the most.
Yes. I think
It's mainly
it's
Max.
really a love. It's a love letter to you. You know,
Yes.
it's how they say they love you.
It's true.
It really is.
Yeah, I feel
But it
that.
is quite so for anyone who's listening and they're like, man, my dream's to work at Fable. You will be picked on
A lot.
a lot. Yeah. So
you have to have very
thick skin.
unflattering photos taken
You
of
know,
you.
I
Yeah.
almost
All the
almost
time.
feel though
Every day.
like Fable is like working for or your coworkers working for Fable is essentially it's got the same feel as like friends you grew up with when you were little. You know what I mean?
I
like you
cannot-
would just go out and play and like just be out there for hours and it wouldn't be a big deal, but like you still got through your day.
I
and,
kid
like,
you
came
not.
home.
Yesterday, I was thinking about this. That like, I got in the car after work yesterday, and I was talking to Joey, and I was like, I love everyone so much. I was crying
Aw.
in the car, and I was like, I love everyone. I could cry right now. I love everyone so much, and it genuinely feels like I've known everyone like my entire life. It is wild.
Well, and
It's
then
wild.
I also think people
nuts.
that come in to Fable, if they're not the right fit, and it's
They will
not for
quickly
everyone.
be
They
cast
will.
out.
Well,
Never
no, but
got.
more importantly, they will just remove themselves because they're like, I don't really
That's true.
fit
Because
here.
it doesn't
Yeah.
feel right
It doesn't
for them.
feel-
Or maybe, and it could be other personal things. They might
Yep.
not just be used to like general like affection from other humans. Like that's a big deal.
camaraderie.
We're a very
Or,
affectionate
like-
friend group.
Yeah.
Or like people get so defensive
Hopefully
because
they're
they've been groomed their whole life to like realize that people pretend they care, but they really don't. But
Yeah.
like we do.
Yeah.
And like that doesn't even make sense to them. So like
Yep.
that's hard for some people.
That's been a trip
Mm-hmm.
for me, big time.
Yeah.
Like literally, just we're all talking about this yesterday. Yeah, it's very weird. Max yesterday was just like, I was thinking about the other day, like where was everybody in like 2021, and we all started like talking about all of our lives and stuff like years ago. Man, my life was like a polar opposite
Of what it is
situation
now?
from
In
where I am
fact,
now.
one of our influencers,
Isn't it crazy how
Robert,
much you can do in that
posted
short
something
period of
like
time,
that.
though?
And he was like, basically the post he had was talking about like the past version of yourself wouldn't recognize you. And I was thinking about it and I commented back and I was like, I don't even think my past version would say hello to me.
Yeah.
Like I would be like totally like, I don't know how to talk to this person at this level.
Yes.
Like I'd be afraid to.
Yeah.
I think.
Totally. I can relate big time.
What the wizard? Do you want to know what the wizard would really do? The wizard would insult future him and be
What
like,
a
"That guy's
dumbass.
probably a jerk.
Stupid. Yeah.
He
Idiot.
probably hates it. He probably beats his
I
wife."
bet you he has a. I bet you. I know why he has a big truck.
Yeah,
That's so funny.
Yeah.
that's what he would have done.
My how things have changed.
Yep, I know. It's crazy. No, it is really, and I think one thing about us is that we do see the potential in certain people. Both of us, we're both really good at like seeing the potential in people.
Yeah, but it's also so frustrating when they don't step up
Exactly.
to the
It's like what we talked about in the
yes.
last
So
podcast,
we're
yep.
like, when we know you're capable of doing something, and also once you've shown me you can do it, and then you just don't do it
You
again,
should.
I'm
Yeah,
like,
so
every
like
time.
don't do a good job one day.
Yeah.
You're not.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
we will hold you to the standard you've proven you can do. And that is just, and I believe that for everyone. I'm like, everyone here wants to, like, I would assume everyone wants to grow and improve, right? Like we all want to do better. I want to do better. He wants to do, like, we all want to do better. And as we grow Fable more, we want the people that we bring in to want to do better too, because as we grow and we get more people, there's only going to be more pressure on you all, for making sure that these people, the people that we have, are doing their part.
I think it's
to
controlled
keep things.
pressure, though. We're now obviously not going to force people into roles that they don't want to be in, and we can
Right.
recognize that pretty quickly
Yep.
within specifically live streams and content.
Yes.
We recognize when people don't want to be in content, and then we recognize when people want to create their own characters out of mannequins and invent Meme. You know, so like we
What
can.
do you mean? Meme is real.
She's real.
She's
But-
a real person.
But with things like that, like once you show me that that's your skill set, you're screwed. Like you're now a performer. You are a
Yup.
jester.
Damn.
Mr. Bard. But it's fine. Like I hope that's fine, you know, really at the
Is
end
that
of
fine?
the day.
Oh, it's fine.
Yeah, yeah.
Good.
Okay.
It's fine.
Yeah. Because sometimes I'm just like, okay, cool. We're gonna go jump out of an airplane now, and I don't even give people the like
The
ability
option.
to ask. No, I'm just like, this is what
Let's
we're
go.
doing. Come on, what do you mean? Get in the truck.
Cool.
Would
Fable
you
in
do
the
it?
sky.
Fable
Yeah,
in
yeah.
the sky.
That'd be
Let's
cool.
go skydiving.
I'm just like, get in the truck.
Get,
How long does
get
it
in the
take
truck. Let's go.
to put
Okay.
beard butter on? At
Oh,
20,000
side note.
feet?
Speaking
That'd
of
be wild.
speaking of getting the
Content
truck,
idea?
we've come a long way. Were you afraid to have the Valkyrie in your car this time on the way over here?
No, not at
Max
all.
used to be afraid of me.
Oh my gosh, yes, terrified. I was like,
Terrified. Ew. Yeah, we're besties now though, so it's fine.
The princess is getting her inner mom vibes right now.
Yes,
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna take a brief. I'll be back. You continue.
What happened?
I gotta handle.
Uh-oh.
All right.
Dun dun dun.
Bum, bum.
wah, wah.
And then there were 3.
There were 3. I don't know what to do with myself.
I know.
Just stand, stare at each other.
Okay.
Yeah, I would just sit here and look at each other like.
So when we're thinking about things in life and things, this is how a podcast goes.
It's true. We.
How was? Did we talk about Ren Fair last time?
No.
No. How was
No.
Ren Fair?
Ren Fair was great. How was Ren Fair, Max?
It was fun. It was the first time ever going to a Ren Fair.
I
It was
heard
pretty cool.
you are a lovely lute player, but you're not good at giving directions. Or who? What was the direction? Who screwed that
Oh my
up?
gosh. Okay, this is where friendship bleeds over, right?
Oh, okay.
I'm so bad with this is stupid. I'm so bad with directions. I don't know what's going on half the time. Like, okay, I don't drive right now. Not that I
Right.
can't drive.
Sure.
I just choose not to because I have husband.
Sure.
Husband drive me.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm really bad with directions. I don't know where I'm going. So we're at Ren Fair and
it's on the left.
plates are on the left. No, yeah. So it's me, Joey, Max, Cam, and then Danny, and then some other friends as well. And we split up because Cam and I think Joey wanted milkshakes.
Okay.
And they were in line for Dippin' Dots.
Okay.
And I have no idea where milkshakes are.
Right.
So Max was like, "Where are you guys going?" I'm like, "Oh, we're going to go get milkshakes over there." And it's
Was
not
this in
over
a
there.
text group or
no,
like in person?
And I'm like, "Over this way." And so he was like, "Okay, yeah." So I
So
didn't realize
leave off to go get a milkshake.
the wrong way.
and go the opposite direction of the
Correct.
way you told him you were going.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Got it.
so there's no service at Renfair either. So Max, I just made Max be stranded.
So we're just
for
like, dude, we're going to Hot Topic. It's downstairs, and you're upstairs.
correct.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. And then I just like half an hour later, Max pops up behind me. He's like, "You lied to me."
Oh.
I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "You, gave me
sent
the
on a
wrong
side
direction."
quest, and I ended up running into a wraith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was like, I don't know what to do. I couldn't know where you guys
I
were.
was
I'm
by
like, I didn't know where I was
myself.
going
I got
either.
lost.
Yeah.
There's a crowd of people
Yeah.
all
Oh,
alone.
so was it like that? Was it like you got lost in the grocery store and you didn't know where to find your mom?
Yeah.
Straight up. Yeah.
That's the same feeling?
Yeah.
Yes. It's like, I was just
So
walking
bad.
around like, oh, where am I going? Don't know where I'm going.
But then I felt really guilty, and I messaged him later, and I was like, "I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to give you wrong
I
directions.
didn't mean
It
to
wasn't
lose
on
you in the
purpose."
store, Max.
Yeah. He was like, "You were trying to ditch me."
Oh.
Yeah.
Then he dug into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Made me feel really bad.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Now you
fine.
know what it's like to be a mom.
Yeah.
For real. For real.
Welcome to motherhood.
Yeah. We. Oh my gosh.
No, okay. So you know how you just felt bad right then?
Yeah.
You will feel that way all
Forever.
the time when you have children about everything.
Awesome.
I'm just saying, like,
I'm a sensitive
they
person.
won't even.
It's gonna
They
be
won't
like that.
even do like. They won't even make you feel bad. You will just feel bad.
Just
I wonder-
always.
I wonder if I should have told him good night more times. I wonder, like, everything you do, you're gonna be like, did I do enough?
Oh yeah, that is gonna be me.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter what. It doesn't
100%.
matter what you do or who. Like, I feel like
see,
I'm
every
already
mother
like that
is
with
way.
everyone.
I'm
I
not
know.
that way, but I get super sensitive with other stuff because kids are brutally honest.
They are.
Brutally honest to
They are.
their own demise. And
Yep.
I'll just be standing there doing my own thing. I don't know, brushing my teeth, eating some chips. And then one of my kids will come up and be like, "Dad, why do you have a little extra skin on your tummy?" And I'm like, "Oh, great. You know, that's called life." You're like,
Oh,
thanks, man. Thanks. Now
I'm
I
gonna
gotta
go to the
back
gym
damn
now.
Gym again.
Yeah.
It's like, fine, I'm gonna put these chips down.
Yeah, I guess I'm done eating these now.
Yep. Not eating that anymore. No, I'm already such a sensitive person, so I already know it's gonna. Yeah. Yeah.
I know.
I feel that way every day of my life. I genuinely go home and I like think about every interaction I had.
I do that too.
And
I
I'm
think
like,
that's a woman
I should've
thing,
said
though.
this.
I think that's
I
a woman
should've
That
thing.
done
must be terrible.
No.
Yeah,
It's legitimately a female thing. They said that. They
He's
were
lying.
like,
Men are basically just like, okay, I have to pour butter. Oh, wait, I have to poop. Oh, wait, I must text my mom back because it's her birthday. Like, that's how our brains go. And you guys are just like off doing war all the time.
It's true. It is war.
all the time.
It's war up here.
And it
Do you
just
think it's like an actual men versus women thing? Or
Yes.
do you think it's like estrogen versus testosterone?
I don't know. It doesn't stop though. It
doesn't
like
stop.
all day
It's
long.
all day.
Because like sometimes
Yeah.
when my levels get a little bit off, depending on like what I do, you know, recreationally or whatever, I get real sensitive.
Really?
Well, but it's not about being sensitive. It's about the fact that our brains will not stop thinking. And it's interconnected. It's like,
Max is
okay,
scared.
it is. It's like they will not, like, I have to do this. I have to do this. Okay, tomorrow, did we do this? Did we lock up? Did we, like, they will not stop. You cannot turn it off and be like, I'm just going to sit here and be like, duh. Like, you can't do that. It is going constantly. You're like, I'm
but
sitting
we-
down, but
we
should I
don't-
not
I
be
don't know. I
sitting
feel
down?
like-
Wait a minute.
I feel like you get it.
We don't sit there and go, duh.
I'm just
like,
saying,
we're not
like-
just like empty air.
No, but you can. You can just be like, I'm going to watch TikTok and I'm not going to care about
I
anything
feel
else.
like Max
True.
gets it though.
I'm to an extent I can understand, but at the same time I also can just kind of be like,
Duh.
True.
Right.
You were raised with like so many women though, so I feel like
Yeah,
you
pretty much.
you
There's
understand.
Yes,
me.
I do think that
Maybe
if
that's
I was
why
to
me and
pick,
Max get along so well.
I will tell you,
Because we're like part woman.
I do feel that Max is definitely the one who is like the most, like, if I was to put my trust in any of the men to be like the most sensitive to like a female of any variety, I would put him at. Or even just in general,
Yep.
be the one who like I feel like is going to be the best husband. I feel like it'd be Max. Totally. I do. Because he's going to know how, like, I feel like he'll be ready to spoil. And truly,
You heard it here, folks.
Yeah.
You
This
heard
is
it
my
here.
opinion. He'll be ready to, he'll be ready to spoil.
Excuse me, Tiff, if you're watching.
Yeah.
Tiff.
Max
Tiff.
is
Where
ready
are
for
you?
Tiffy.
Where?
Bring
are
your
you?
beamer
Yeah.
over to the lab.
With your
Put
Starbies.
the top down.
Yep.
Put Maymay in the back seat, and you guys are ready to go.
You're ready to go.
Gotta love Starbucks.
Yeah.
It's a big part.
Yeah.
I love Starbucks.
Yeah, me too. Me too. No, truly the best. He's so, I just think he's gonna be the best. But
Side note, though, do you think like when that happens, like I don't know your personal life, that might be happening now for all the hell I know, but do you think your mom's gonna like lose it?
Max
Oh,
is very close
man.
with his mom.
Yeah,
I know
don't
you're like
know.
real close with her.
Oh man, I don't know. I don't think so.
Because that's
I-
going to be the hard
like-
part too. Like
But
you
she'll
think
love
about,
it.
like it's hard enough to like find a relationship that you like want to
She'll
be with.
love
and,
it.
like,
Max's mom
everything
is
else.
awesome. I think
But
she'll be rad.
then you have to find a relationship that also has a relationship with your mom.
Yeah,
I
that's-
think
It's
she's
true.
going to have high standards for her.
Oh,
Yeah.
Valid.
But I think she
Yes.
will also,
Yeah.
but assuming that person is of quality enough to be with you, I think she'll love. I think that.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if it's the right person,
Is it the right
it'd be-
person?
it'd be good.
Totally.
But
Absolutely.
You didn't meet her at Ren Fair?
no,
No.
No, unfortunately.
Bummer. But I heard you met some toothless people.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, now we're getting into Max. Are you looking?
am I looking?
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, this is the date.
This is
the
insane.
dating app for
I
that.
love
A
this so
dating
much.
podcast?
No, I mean, like, are you though, or are you just like, I'm just kind of like doing my own
No.
I'm
thing?
just kind of doing my own thing.
Yeah, because
you know.
Tiff will find
Yep.
him. They
Exactly.
will just meet. It'll be fate.
Yep. Max likes to spend money on himself too.
Yeah.
Until he's got Tiff.
It's
Yeah.
true.
I
But
don't
right now he
think-
can invest in his hobbies like drones.
Yes.
I don't
awesome.
think
Drums?
Drones.
Drones. I heard drugs, and I was
I
like,
heard
what?
that too.
Oh,
I mean, I
I was
knew.
like,
I knew what
what?
she
No.
said.
No.
Is this a? Let's talk about this.
Like drugs? No.
I think genuinely, when Tiff arrives, it won't be like, oh, I have to do this. I think he's just gonna be like, I want to spoil her rotten. That's what I feel like. That's what I feel like will happen.
I love this so much. This
Yeah.
is awesome.
Yeah, and there's gonna be Tiffs watching there and be like, this is me. I'm
Oh my
coming.
gosh,
On my
that's
way.
It's
I
wild.
want
Like
to
that.
go in.
That's me too. Like
Coming to Fable Fest
like-
next year.
Yep.
our my like ideal date. Just no kids. No. But like side note. But like me and the princess will just go to the mall, and I'll just like pick out clothes for her.
I love that.
And then she like tries them on and sends me pictures.
Yep.
And then I'm like, I like this. I don't like this. I don't like this. And
It's
then
his
we're
hobby.
just like, hey, like, where are we gonna go now? I don't know. What else you want? Like that. That's just.
I love
that's
that.
my day.
That's so cute.
We do that all the time.
I love
Yes,
that.
he does it all the time. He is I will say, the wizard.
Oh, those shoes. I picked those out.
The wizard
Love that.
is the best. Like, he is so in touch with his inner female. And that
Every
like,
time I compliment you on something, you're like, "Oh, Colin picked it
I
out."
didn't pick anything out.
The
I
wizard
didn't.
picked it.
He's like, this is, and genuinely, he's just like, he buys makeup. He does.
Yeah.
If you didn't know better,
Heck yeah.
I could pick out
You'd
a
be
mean
like-
palette.
you'd be like, he lives
I
a
bet.
different life at night. Like, that's what you would think. You'd be like, he has hobbies that but no, he just like is so, he's like, this is going to look great. And God bless him. He's just really, truly.
Do I say it? Max and I play Dress to Impress on Roblox all the time. And it's like a little dress up game. And Max is really good
See
at
what I'm
it.
saying? That's what I'm trying to say. He's gonna be like, "Oh, look, Tiff, I bought you this new eyeshadow
Well,
palette from
it
Fable
gets real
Beauty."
deep. Love
from
gets
Yeah,
real
Fable
from
deep.
Fable Beauty.
We're at the point now where I will be like, the princess would love these tweezers. Like, that's how connected I'm like, and you got it immediately.
Yes.
I was
Yeah.
like, she would love these tweezers.
Yeah. Yep. hmm
Yep.
Just very particular, like little things. Yeah. 100%.
Yes, yes. Overarchingly, he knows.
That's
he
a
knows
fun
the
time, too.
things. Yeah, he knows the fun things that I enjoy. I will say what I do love is a clean environment.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very much. I do not like any messes. I don't like clutter. I don't like when things are out of their place.
Yes.
I don't. In fact, I would be less concerned about like dust, even though I don't like that either, than I would be about like stuff
Yeah.
everywhere. I cannot stand clutter or when things are not where they're supposed to be.
Yep.
And he's even
We pretty much live in a hotel with
he
three
has even
tornadoes.
gotten better about that because he used to be the mess. Still is, but he's even made an effort because what he's realized is how nice it is to not be in that environment.
It's true.
And so
It impacts your mental health big time.
But he like literally he's the biggest pig I've ever. But he's gotten so much better. But he does not.
Side note: Mondays are the best because our housekeepers come.
But he does not care. And I
then,
clean
like,
up.
We'll go out on our day on Monday and we'll come to the lab and do a live, and then we'll go back and the whole house just
It's
smells like
beautiful and
clean
spotless and
vinegar,
good.
and
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, this is the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I will clean. In fact I clean all before like they even come. I'm like, I gotta clean.
Oh, yeah.
I gotta make
You have
sure
to do
clean.
the pre-clean before
Yeah.
the house cleaners
When
come.
we leave
100%.
for vacation or just like a trip or maybe even to Costco, whatever.
Yep.
The princess has
Yep.
to clean the damn house before we leave because it. Now
Yep.
I will say,
Because then you come
low-key
home.
now
it
I
looks
like
great.
it. I like it.
Yes.
But Now I'm
loves
just
it.
like, great, like we're gonna leave, that's cool, but then we're gonna clean the house. I gotta pack up the whole truck. We gotta load the kids. Everybody's gotta have their blankets and their topos and their, Stanleys.
Yep.
But then when we come home, we just like come home to like.
I cannot
It's one of those
stand it
things
messy.
like when we're out on vacation, it's fun.
Yeah.
But then like 2 days in, we're just like,
I
I'm
want to
just
go
kinda ready
home.
to be home.
Yeah.
I like
love
my
home.
house.
Oh my gosh.
I love home. I love home so much.
Trying to get Max to leave his house is the most impossible thing.
Yeah.
The fact that he went to Ren Fair is a miracle.
Because he loves home.
Yes,
I
he
love
loves being home.
I love home. All right, let's just mark
is
it now.
great.
Now, Max will have a house. There'll be a gym in it, and he'll never leave like
Good.
us.
He will
He's
we'll
just
never see him again.
leave.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But you guys seen the TikTok lives? That's why we have the gym at the house.
I mean,
we don't
yeah.
have to
because we
leave.
never leave. No, that's not true. We do leave, but normally it's just to go to the lab and then come back.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
that's where we go.
I do love
Yeah.
being
Come
home
visit
too.
you.
I do
Yeah.
love being home. But we were trying to get Max to come out and do things with the friend group.
Right.
Yes. So we got him to go to Ren Fair. It was really fun.
It was
He
fun.
got
And now
lost.
He got lost,
scared.
and I traumatized him. And then
Decided he's never going to do it out again.
I was like,
He's like,
well,
look, you
I
got me
literally-
out. I'm never coming back.
no, I literally went home and I told Joe, I'm like, Max is never leaving his house ever again. That was it. That
He
was the last
left
time.
once and he found a sewer grate.
Yep.
And he fell into it.
Yeah. And no, now we're gonna try to all go to Chili's next Friday. That's the plan. Right?
Chili's.
It is.
It
Where
is
the
the
hell
plan.
is Chili's? Didn't they move the one right next to the old lab?
There's one like 7 minutes away.
Oh.
So we're gonna try to
Why
get Max to go to
Chili's?
Why Chili's?
Because it's Chili's. You get there's great appetizers, cheap margaritas.
No, we've had this conversation, I think, a
Have
little
we?
on the low key. Like,
Have
we
we?
need to up the food quality in this
All right,
place.
the
I
wizard
know.
gets heartburn
Yeah.
with some of the eateries that
We
that
are
you
not
all-
eating good
I
in the
like never
neighborhood
go out
anymore.
to eat, so I can go to Chili's.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
we are not eating good in the neighborhood anymore.
We are not, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, we're eating low quality food in
The wizard's gonna make me feel bad about
I'm
my
just
blood
kidding.
panel now and be like,
No,
you have high
No,
cholesterol.
No.
it's just because I care, and I'm like, why are we eating?
no.
this?
Actually, Chili's was like my favorite place ever to
Endless
eat. It
chips
felt
and salsa,
legit.
man.
Well, it felt really
Well,
legit. I haven't been to a Chili's in a long time, so we're not to judge because we haven't been
Mozzie
there.
steaks and margaritas.
The last time I went to a Chili's, I was young enough to want to steal the pot holders.
Well,
You know what I mean? So
well,
like,
how do you know it's not good?
Take the
then?
ramekins home.
How do you know
Oh
it's
my
not legit?
gosh.
You haven't been there.
you want to go to Chili's?
No,
Exactly.
but that doesn't
I'll
mean
go to
it's not
Chili's.
good.
Uh huh. I guess so.
I'm quite picky with my food.
have
You
to
know what it
change
was
now.
though? Let me tell you.
Artichokes that taste like mushrooms.
Let me tell you. When I started working at 16 years old, my first job, I worked at a country club.
I love that.
And I worked there until we moved to Virginia, where I worked at another fine dining restaurant establishment. Max should know this. He has
is
fine
segue
dining
into
sister.
How we met.
Well, really, it's not. Really, it's about the fact that we didn't, when we worked at the country club, because we got married very young, we couldn't afford food.
Yeah.
But I got free food when I worked there. I got a
yeah.
meal. If I worked over like 4 hours in a day, I got a meal. And so I ate very good food a lot. And so now I'm like, ugh, this just isn't good. And it started when
Valid.
I just learned nicer foods are better.
Side note: imagine this: you got young wizard, skater kid. Every one of my peer groups didn't know what the hell they were doing with their life.
Yeah.
It was always crazy. Everything was happening all the time. I was bumping like 3-6 Mafia in an 03 expedition with like missing door panels, right? And here we
So
come.
insane.
I moved to California.
Yep.
And then I meet the princess, and she's in a brand new a brand new Beetle convertible.
Yep.
She works at the country club. She has a job. She has money. She, has her whole life together.
knows
And then
what she's
people are like,
doing.
"Why'd you?" And I was like, "Cause like I was like, this is gonna be the rest of my life. I want this life.
Yeah.
I want her."
Yeah.
And that's kind of like how it happened. I was
He
like,
is
"What do
very
you mean?"
persistent.
I love that so much.
He is very persistent. So where I work,
I was like, my entire life doesn't go well, and hers seems to be going all right all the time. I was like, I want my life to go
You're
right.
like, that's
And
gonna
I was
be
like,
me.
whatever you want me to do, I'm gonna simp for you forever.
I literally didn't care about his existence, but nor any male variety. I
You were
just
doing
was-
your own thing.
I just was living my life. But where I worked was this is the lengths he went to. I just want you all to be aware. This is the lengths he went to. When I first met him, he had a girlfriend, which I didn't even care because I just was friendly and nice. and
Crazy lady.
I just was friendly and nice and the princess. And I was just like, so nice to meet you. Like I just was me because that's who I am.
Yeah.
With everybody.
Yep.
And
Same.
so somewhere along the lines, like they broke up and whatever. And I just was off living my own little life. Well, where I worked was in a community that was gated. So you couldn't get in unless you were a resident or someone called you in a guest pass to enter into the community.
The allure.
Yeah, I did.
You're
I
like-
worked in the gated community. And so
She worked with the uppers.
and it really wasn't that upper, but it was gated. So it was just a protection
Yep.
thing. Like you couldn't come in unless there was someone, and you couldn't also dine at the eating establishment. You couldn't dine at the country club unless you lived in the neighborhood or were there as a guest to someone who lived in the, like you couldn't just come and show up. So he like hunted down someone who could get him in to come eat there.
Did
to
I?
visit me. Yes. I
don't
think
even
like
remember this.
you got Trav to get Alicia to like come.
Oh yeah, because Alicia worked with you.
So she was able to come eat
Mm-hmm.
so you could come with them.
Yeah, totally.
Oh my gosh.
So he
I
could
snuck
come
my way into the-
so while I was
snuck
working.
my way into the country club while
Yeah.
I was working.
The great lengths he went to. And everyone like they were like, "Oh yeah." And I was just like,
Dude, like Colin's great, and she's
I
like,
was like,
whatever.
"That's nice. I'm so glad for him.
Uh-huh.
That's wonderful."
Great. Wow. Yeah. Super
That's
nice.
cool.
Just-
Do you want fries with that?
Yeah, no. So it was really wild. And then I remember them like being like they were so secretive while they were there. Like they were
Who?
like,
Us?
yeah, like Trav and you were like, and then like, but you were like saying weird things, and I was like, oh, like you were just saying things
I
like
don't even remember that life.
you were like,
man.
well, what time do you get off? And I was
It's
like, I
the
don't know.
female
That's
intuition.
back when my biggest ambition in life was to get a half stack for my base.
Yes.
Like that was it.
Good ambition. to
Yes,
have
no,
it.
it was pretty hilarious. You were like, "What time do you get off?" And I was like, "Oh, I don't really know. I'm probably going to be here all night." And you're like, "But what time?" And I was like, "I
See, you probably thought you were being so casual about it and like
Probably.
low key, like
no,
woman
that is
intuition,
burned, that
man.
is burned in my brain.
No,
That is
you can pick
burned
up
in my
on things
brain.
like that like really fast. It's
And he left a
female
note on my
intuition.
car after that. I went out with a note on my car.
Nice.
Which was very sweet. I will say, there was also a mentally challenged gentleman who was
What?
who was
was-
harmless.
What?
Who was harmless.
Oh God, I forgot about that guy.
I'm reminding you so much about my life here.
Wow.
There was a mentally challenged guy who was harmless. Everyone in
Did
the
they call him Mad Mike?
everyone in the neighborhood knew him. Okay, but he would like sit in trees and like over
Right?
over
For
the
real. Listen, this is why I'm surprised the prince has lived without
Okay.
the wizard as a bodyguard
So
for so long.
there was a well, it's lucky I'm alive. No, I'm just kidding. No, he was totally harmless, but he okay. Well, there was like
lurking trees.
the police didn't have him in custody. Okay, so he was obviously had not done anything.
Fair enough, fair
Okay,
enough, fair
but
enough.
he would ride his bike. He didn't have a car. He would just ride his bike
Like,
everywhere.
Hundreds of miles
Like
around town.
literally like he would like where what would take us an hour to drive, he would ride his bike to.
Right, right.
So
and then hang out in a tree.
yeah. So anyway, but he lived there, and so he would just like sit in trees and like around the area. He would just like sit there, and so we never walked out by ourselves. We always walked out
Yeah.
in a group, but
Yeah, because Mad Mike was in the trees.
because you didn't know, you just didn't know, and
insane.
it was a long walk. It wasn't like you walked out the back door and you had to walk like a while to get to the cars. Like it would probably be like if you walked out of the lab now and like you had to walk all the way
Like,
to the
to the end of
cul-de-sac.
it,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was like
Yeah,
a
yeah.
long walk. It was like pretty, and it was dark because it was treed because they
Yes.
didn't want you to see the back end of the country club.
And there
So,
were
like,
people in it.
yeah, it was treed, and you got to like you got to the tennis court. That's where you like parked was by the tennis courts.
Yeah.
And so I get out to my car late at night, and there's some like note on it, and I'm like,
You're like, I'm gonna
Mad
die.
Mike is coming for me
No. Oh my gosh.
It was just
because
me.
he didn't put his name on it.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Fair
But you
enough.
know, like for me, I was just like,
I'm just gonna do the
hello,
thing.
like she's got to know my existence. Like I made myself
It's
know.
me.
Right. That's what he does now
Duh.
with people that don't work at Fable. He's like, they need to be working at Fable.
They should just know.
They should
Yeah.
just
I leave
No.
notes on cars
They should just know.
come work for
with
me.
no info
Who is
and no
that?
phone number.
Yeah.
Yes.
Love that.
No, but basically that was it. He was like, he met me once, and he was like, he was already in his brain. He had already married me. We were already together, and
But
I
we
was,
talked about this before. That's how Fable started. One day I was like, I'm tired of doing what I'm doing.
not
I'm gonna start a beard
exactly,
company.
not exactly. It was actually genuinely. It was more of like that was probably true too, but
That's what happened for me. It wasn't happening for her.
No, I think it was that he recognized that these products were not the products we were getting were not up to the standard
Yeah.
that we felt could be out there. And then with the element of like he really did have the vision for the artwork and things like that. I didn't as much Like I was on board with that, but like in his brain, he already could see the artwork itself.
Yeah.
And I couldn't quite see that. Like I was like, what do you mean you're
Yeah.
gonna have like a half face? He was really good at seeing. And then obviously, Jeff got involved and everything turned out wonderful. But I remember that part of like, he was like, hey, I'm gonna make these products better. And then he started making them. And to this day, a few of the scent profiles he made very effortlessly are my favorites. Like I would be like, I can't go back. Like I just love them so much that they're just like the best. But
what's really wild too is like how I used to develop like the actual like blends and formulas.
Yeah.
My father-in-law would make fun of me all the time because he'd say, you're just up there and it was just like bloop 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 out popped $1 million. Like I don't understand. And like the beard butter specifically, I was just like, oh, like I made that formula when I first started in like a single pot in like probably like a week.
Actually, we started with 4 characters. We started with Engineer, Archer. Captain Red. And the reason Captain Red became about is because our pastor used to call him Captain Redbeard. And so that's why the wizard Captain Red was really, that was like him. That was like his actual character for
Like
his
the
the
first
wizard.
character. Yeah. That's so cool. I didn't know that.
And then the barkeep, who's the only one that remains. He's the last of the OGs.
Mohicans.
But it was oil and bomb. That was it. Just oil and bomb. That's all we had.
That's crazy.
And
you can
and
go
then,
back like if you can scroll back like 3,000 posts on Instagram, you can see like my old like marketing. It'd be like maybe 15 bottles on like a wooden table, and I'm just like, that's where we're making our money.
I'm gonna have to show you some photos. But yeah, it was just like literally like 4 oils and really 3 options of scents and bombs.
That's so wild. How did you find out about Fable?
It was a Facebook post.
Was it a Facebook post?
Like a post or like in the job stuff?
It was a Facebook job post.
I'm gonna say this.
I was like, huh. And then I just kind of jumped off.
No. Go through the day. Do you remember the day?
Do you remember anything else about it?
Oh my gosh. I'm pretty sure I was just like doom scrolling.
Yeah.
And it just popped up and I was like, huh.
So
it was
just meant to be.
It was just
It was
kind
meant
of
to be.
just scrolling. And then
Yeah.
all of a sudden I was like, oh, that's neat. I saw,
Was that after
There we
like the coffee place was like, we're not gonna hire people?
Did
like
I have
this?
any pictures? Do you remember? Did I have any like stories associated with?
I
the job
remember.
description, or I was just like,
I
come
remember.
Make our.
It was
shit.
it was you had the boat. You had the boat.
Oh,
it
shit.
was the ship art.
Yeah.
And then I was
The
like,
artwork got him.
Yeah.
The artwork got
it
him.
was.
Yeah. I will also say that we really lucked out because we like neither of us have ever really hired anyone before. Although he tries to hire everyone, but we had never even like I worked in like management.
I just get so mad that people don't realize that their life would be better if they work for us.
But some people don't care. They don't want that. But anyway,
That
we
is
had never
stupid.
hired people really before. So like even still, I will say we are not the best at like people that have hired hundreds of people. They're like, oh, this, and this is what I look for. This is what I don't look for. Like they're really good. We also have a different level of criteria because we don't want people to just do their job, which I realize at the core, that's what you're offering, right? You're like giving them money in exchange for
Go a
them
little
coming
bit
in
more
to
in
do their
depth with
job.
that because the internet's like, do your job. It sounds like,
Right. We want people who love what we're doing. And I know you
Right.
can't 100%. We want people who care about the brand
I
itself.
love septic systems.
Right. Like we want people who are like, I see where Fable, I see this part, like I'm part of this world. I love these things. I love story. And you're not going to get everyone that like loves it as much as we do, but we want people who like understand what we're doing.
I think, man, you guys were just so blessed from the beginning, to be honest, because I have hired lots and lots and lots of people in previous jobs. And yes, a lot of times when you hire people, you're going to have like bad eggs and people who don't want to be there. They're just there for a paycheck. But I feel like that the core group that you've gotten all genuinely like are such like incredible people and amazing
I feel that way
employees
too.
and team members. And that is so rare and weird.
I feel that way too.
It really is. It's rare and weird.
I hope it's a testament to 2 things. Number 1 is like bringing Max in. Like we just lucked out.
Huge.
Yeah.
We just like won the lottery,
Yeah.
and we didn't even realize
It was
that
anointed. It was our wish.
it was anointed.
It was the wish.
And we don't genuinely, we don't want anyone to leave. Like we don't. We understand people like move or they, life changes or just maybe they find a better opportunity.
Yeah, but then we're also just like so willing to accommodate to like structure around other people. It's like, oh, well, Crystal's pregnant. Oh, cool. Like, you want a nursery?
Yeah,
Right, like,
I'm
we'll
not worried
figure
about
it
it at all.
Yeah, like we'll just
Not
figure
worried.
out. We'll
We'll
just
just
figure it out.
Yeah.
I think also like one thing for other people is, I think this, obviously we're always going to improve. There's always room to improve, but like, I don't think we ever put expectations of like, you have to work 80 hours of overtime and like you have to work every single weekend. Like we are like 1 weekend a year, 2 weekends a year, maybe. And even then it's because we're hosting like an event where all our people are coming together.
Yeah, but it's wild how much the internet correlates employers wanting employees to do a good job or like care about their job. They associate that with hours worked and more time. Like on the internet, our comments are like, well, like, what do you expect people to work 60, 70 hours a
And
week?
we're like, no, that's literally like the opposite of what
that's
we
not
expect.
what we're saying
Yeah,
at
it's
all.
kind of
Like,
the
come in
opposite.
for 40, take all weekends off, and like,
If you have
maybe
appointments, that's
just,
fine.
like,
If you
like,
have days off, you need.
totally.
maybe
That's
just
fine.
like smile when you're here.
Yeah,
Right.
just- can you like enjoy your day?
You're like,
Yeah,
oh,
can
I
you just, like, not
overslept.
be a
We're
piece
not
of
like, oh,
shit?
you're fired. 3 oversleeps and you're out. Like we're so
Oversleeps.
Yeah,
Oversleeps.
oversleeps. Like we're so, I feel like so easy to get along with in that way that I hope we are anyways. Like we definitely try to be in that way but we want people to like stay. Like we don't want.
Well, Chris already said if we're not, they won't tell us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
or me apparently anymore.
Yeah, no,
I'm
so
just
there
kidding.
you go. No, but I think understanding, like I said, the brand and like wanting to be part of it is, and I feel like we just can eat. At the time though, when Max came on, we had like we just assumed. I just assumed because of who I am, just genuinely because of who I am. I am not to like toot my own horn, but like I'm just really hardworking. Like I show up, I'm like, oh, I'm like. My arm fell off. It's okay. I can still go in and work my job. Like I would just show I would always do a good job. Like always try really hard. Even if you're having like an off day, like my goal was always to like be the best I could be at that moment.
Totally.
I wanted to improve. I took like when they would be like, hey, can you do this better? Like I took that very seriously. I tried really hard to do that. Like it hurt my heart because I was like, I want to do so good.
But I think
like I
our
want to
core-
improve. We just assumed everyone else was like that.
Some of our employees don't see that though.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, they see us come in every couple of days and show up and do something fun and bounce. And they're, in their day-to-day doing the work of fulfillment and whatnot. However, sometimes you don't realize that just because we're not there, we are still working. Like the princess and I didn't get off of a 2.5 hour live stream on TikTok last night, dancing around with lights and zoning out of my mind with pre-workout to stay up till like 11:30 last night.
Yeah,
We've
that's
done that
crazy.
the last 6 days.
I know you have.
Plus we have to go live on Beauty too. So we've been live like 2 to 4.
Well, that and all like the
2 to
other stuff,
4
like the
hours a
marketing,
day.
the PR
Yeah,
stuff.
it's
Oh
been
my
really
gosh.
exhausting, but
a lot.
I think well, it's been really fun too. It's
Yeah.
been fun in that capacity. But I think to that point, when you bring people on, like you just assume everyone is going to do the same thing. And what I've realized in this hiring, this recent hiring, right? And then even bringing you on, right? Like, or bringing Joey on. We got Max and we're like, great. And we got Robert, Cam,
Roberito.
and we're just like,
Bob.
great. And then, we get Joey and we're like, great. And like, he's like, hey, and we're like, great. And we're so go with the flow with it. And then we just like in this hiring process of recent applicants and like people that we're like finding and like, you're like, it's kind of terrifying.
Yeah.
It's really terrifying.
Well,
and somehow we happened to like win the lottery before that because somehow we got not only people that are here competent enough to do their part, learn, but now people who are like innovating. And now what we're doing is we're just entrusting like we're just like, hey, we have this idea, go.
Yep.
Be free. Do what you can with it. And it's not even just coming back like, oh, like, okay, I made this, like, whatever. What do you think? Like, it's like very logical and tactical. And like the formulations, it's like, oh, this ingredient does this and this ingredient does this. And as we're preparing for these things, the tactical approach to him and what he's able to do from where he started, like labeling the marksman, like now he is like innovating these products and on scale, and then we're getting together collectively.
I'm
and
so
we're
Not
like,
only
excited
that,
to
we
talk
trust
about
him
this.
to not
Yeah.
like spit in the batch.
But also, like, what we're thinking logically is it's not even enough that you can like just make a product. It's like on scale, how can we scale it, right? So it's like,
I want to talk about this because Max is nuts.
I know
No, about like
I'm
making
so
new
excited.
product and like coming up
I
with
am
things.
so
I'm
excited
like,
to talk about it. Well, I wanted to just showcase like how from him coming in and us just being like, okay, great, and him just like labeling where in a short, because really 4 years is like nothing, but in a short period of time, how much he has grown
oh my gosh.
and
Even in the last
what
year.
he's doing now, and just like
He's a full-on bard now.
he's a full-on bard.
Full on.
But just like where the transition of him, like, and how much care goes into these products. Like he put a lot of care into it and put a lot of effort into it. And now to hand it off, like that's a big deal. It's a big deal. Like you are making products that people are going to use and
New things too.
new things. What is that like? How does
Not
that
only
feel?
that, like hundreds of thousands of people around the world love what you make.
They rub it on their face.
It's true.
True. Very
That's
true.
wild.
So how does it feel though? How does it feel to know that like you're coming up with things that are potentially changing the face of Fable forever
And
It's-
Crystal's future.
and Crystal's future?
My future depends on this.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Well,
I can't eat unless people buy the things you make.
That's
right.
Side
That's
note.
the cycle.
That's a thing in the lives now. It's
I know.
like
Feed Crystal.
selling
Feed-
stuff
feed
to
the Valkyrie.
Joey. To feed Joey.
Yeah.
feed Joey. No PB&J
I'm like, he
Thursdays.
eats every day. Can you believe that?
It's wild.
But how do you feel about it?
it's a lot because when I'm making the stuff, I truly do feel like when I with the butters and everything, I feel like the love and just the soul that went into making everything. And now that I'm developing new products, I'm really wanting, I'm doing the research, and when I go home, I also have an entire Google Doc I have at home. I just spend hours just like Googling, like, well, what does this do? What does this
true.
do? And I'm just like, well, what is this? And I look into like actual like lab reports and like, oh, well, this has these bad side effects. And I just have a list of stuff if it pops up and what I want to use it as. I just throw it away. I don't even use it because I don't want to like make bad stuff because everything's so good. I want to be able to
Because
kinda
you
match
care.
the butter,
See?
for instance.
I'm gonna
I'm cry today.
I know. Me and Crystal, get the tissues. Where's the tissue box? No, but
So.
that's the care. That's exactly why you are where you are. That's exactly why we want you to grow with the world of Fable, because you care. Because you want to produce things that people actually like and that work well.
And he's working on so much good stuff.
I know. I know. So I think we're gonna make an announcement here, which it may already be for sale by the time this comes out.
Maybe.
It may be for sale. But let's talk about specifically one product. Let's talk about what's in your hair right now.
It's pomade. So it's
Whoa, this is crazy.
Fable pomade, yeah.
What? Made
Yes.
by the Bard. Now I will tell you, pomade's been a request. So we're gonna go. I'm just gonna briefly go through
Let
the
me
history.
tell
shaking.
you why I didn't make pomade.
Yeah.
Can anybody guess why the wizard didn't make it ever?
No, I think it would look great on
Yeah,
you.
it'd be
Let me just test this out.
Uh-huh.
Just rub it on your
Oh,
scalp.
it totally adds texture.
Yeah.
Yes. No, people have been asking for this for a long time. But the way that the products have been made, so this is kind of the history of the product. So we launched with oil and balm, and we worked really hard on those two ingredients. I will say they're also the most common in the beard care industry. They're the
Yeah.
most commonly found products available. I do believe ours are better because I know how picky I was about not only just scent, but quality. Like both things are really important to me because I'm like, why would anyone want to buy this if it's junk? Now, there's also a lot of variants of what people think works and what doesn't work. And then we obviously went a route to make sure like they were, for those who do care about like vegan, we wanted to make sure that they were there in the marketplace for them.
Yep.
But we went with our formulas after a lot of trial and error, but kind of kept the same vibe. Like we had the same general concept of the oils that we wanted to use and the products that we wanted to include. And then I remember him making butter, and butter was really difficult. He had a lot harder time. Balm was really easy for him. Butter was really difficult. And then butter was the next.
I couldn't even figure it out. I was like, why won't this work?
Yeah, it took him a lot longer. It was a lot more trial and error on butter. But butter was the next product that we brought into the market. And I think it was one that went over really good. And then we transitioned into the co-wash and beard wash, and those came kind of very, very similar in time. They all kind of came together very quickly. But it wasn't until after the Bard was hired that deodorant came into the world. And cologne. And I remember him working on deodorant and us having a batch of deodorant. And it was like, okay, like meh. Like they were like meh. Like, you know, like it was fine. It worked. And it was just kind of like, yeah. Like, all right, I guess. But like, can we do better? And I remember Max specifically. I remember at that time they were working together and he was like, why can't we get this right or whatever? And I remember Max just like being like, maybe we should do this. And like them working on it together. And I don't remember the exact inner workings of like how the formulation, who was 100% responsible for each ingredient. But I remember that was like, I think at the time, like,
I'm glad
right
you
when
remember. I don't remember any of this. My ADD is just sitting
doesn't
here
know
in another
anything.
world. I'm like, what?
But that was like at the time, like I feel like just started working at the lab part. Like you were doing like fulfillment or label. You were doing other things. And then like you transitioned into the lab and we transitioned someone out to transition you in. And we were like, make them right, Max. We got to get these products right. And cause when you replace products because they aren't made right, like it's really expensive and it's like really disappointing for the customer. So like we don't want that to happen. But I remember that's when the deodorant came to be what it is. And then like things like we did top pour instead of bottom pour. And then we realized like that it wasn't looking right. And we're like, why are we doing this? And like little things that you don't like the consumer would never understand, or they don't, I'm sure some of them do, but they don't really think about like the difference of having a deodorant that's poured from the top instead of the bottom.
It's true.
Little things that you just don't even think about. And those types of transitions, like we got it, but we got it so right with the deodorant. Like I am so in love with I'm so obsessed with our deodorant that came from Max that I'm like every product, like that's now your standard of like, I'm like, great. If Max is making it, it's going to be epic. It's true.
All right. So I know nothing about pomade.
Yes.
At all. Tell me what's good about it. Why? Pretend I know. I do know nothing. I don't own this place at all. I know nothing about the pomade. I'm going to sell it, but I.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, the pomade, I wanted it to be. Well, I don't like shiny. A shiny, greasy look.
Right, like, that's like more like gel, right?
Yeah, that's
not
more
like
gel.
rockabilly.
Right.
What's
Yeah,
rockabilly?
okay.
Like where they like slick it back with
Oh.
like a
50s.
powder.
Okay.
A greaser?
I thought it was a
Greaser.
person.
Which
Yeah.
is
All right.
why they
The princess
call it
is gonna be
that,
quiet
I
now.
think. It's their
Continue.
hair, right? Greaser?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So when I was making it, kind of one of the things is I would pick out ingredients that would create that matte finish. But at the same time, I kind of didn't want it to be like so matte that your hair looked like
Dry.
brittle and dry. So developing it was a kind of a balancing act of picking ingredients that both gave you that matte finish, but also didn't look like you're just dry, nasty, brittle.
So a
hair.
matte finish is just not glossy finish.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay.
Matte is just kind of
That makes sense.
no shine to it.
Clay based, correct?
Yeah. So
Why clay?
clay, has a lot of benefits to your hair. It can help just kind of bring nutrients and just all the goodnesses that
So
your
it's
hair
just
and
like
follicles need.
from the earth type.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
It really is.
I will say, although the
serious.
And it makes
wizard,
it matte. It
I
makes
know
it like a
nothing.
matte finish.
Now I'm gonna be like pretend that I'm an expert on pomade.
although the wizard doesn't know anything about pomade, I have put pomade in my boy's hair,
Yes.
and because I do the hair occasionally, and I will notice a difference of just like what or like how it stays or how it looks or how Brayden is hilarious because Mini Wiz is hilarious because he like hates crunchy hair and when it's super stiff.
Yep.
He is so like, oh, I don't like this, and so he wants it to feel just like loose and goosey and
But
nice,
still
and,
held in place kind of
and
thing.
still held in place.
I
Yeah,
think that's what this
absolutely.
kind of does.
Yeah, that's one of the things I wanted to accomplish is same thing. I used to have like a mohawk, like a wicked, just tall, like 1.5 foot long mohawk.
What?
Yep.
Like SLC punk status?
I used to have a mohawk and I would dye it different colors. I'd do the spikes.
What?
And then from that, I went to a frohawk and then I grew my hair out really, really long.
Did you hear this?
I-
Max was a punk.
I did. I've seen a picture of him with a mohawk. I think
What?
at one point in time. Yeah,
I could
How come I
probably
never
fish it out at some
yeah,
point.
okay.
I know.
I
Maybe we
want to
need to
say
bring it
too
back.
I've
that we
only
have been
seen-
having the pomade tested by
I've only
barbers.
seen baby Max on the beach.
That's the best picture I've ever seen.
It is.
By the way.
Max.
No, I think the pomade you're testing about barbers.
We've had a couple barbers try it out, and it is barber approved.
That's great.
And that's a big deal.
I also think that even just I think a couple customers we snuck them in, made them
Yep.
sign some NDAs like, hey, keep your mouth shut.
So
And they've done great. They have done great.
They have.
But I think that we've gotten the stamp of approval from them as well. So I am super excited to launch this product, and it's been months in the works, and we're gonna see what the people think, right?
It's
They're-
a labor
in their
of love
hands now.
too.
Yes.
Pomade is a labor
Let
of
me ask
love.
this
Yeah.
though.
It's
I
a
mean,
toughie.
when you're talking about, it says I'm not a purveyor of pomades, but I would assume pomades kind of fall in line with most other beard care companies that they may have like 3 cents. Maybe it's just one, but like you're going to be able to formulate these for all characters, right?
Everything. Right.
In time.
Right.
When you were seeing this, so basically, the fate of pomade is really in the consumer's hand.
Yeah.
It's true.
So if they don't love it, they will reject it and will take it off the market, right? It is their decision.
It's scary, man.
Yeah.
It's scary.
A little scary, but
It's a little scary.
I think people are gonna.
I think
think
they're
so,
gonna
too.
love it so much. I
Yep.
think they're gonna love it so much. But that's how it goes. Like, I think we had some things too that the Wizard put out there that they just weren't like. For example, we
I have a
have
question.
mustache wax. How much mustache wax do we sell?
Like
One a
none.
decade? I don't know. Like not very much. But
I
it
am
is
curious
there.
if it was in more sense, if people would get more mustache wax.
I don't know.
I just
don't know.
don't think we have a large enough.
Like mustache following.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But
with-
the market tells you what they love, and we can see in what they buy, just like what they love. And I'm really excited about just like our deodorants are really loved. We can tell.
Yes.
Since it's a
Yes.
natural product and I haven't manufactured it before, right? Like this is all you.
Yeah.
Is it going to be subjected to the same like temperature issues that we have with shipping and receiving of like butter? Is it like as soft as butter? Well,
It is a softer product because you're meant to be able to scoop it out.
That's a good question.
but like
And then rub it.
with butter, if we flash cool it, right? So like
Yes.
you have there's no grit to it when it comes back to room temperature. But in transition with shipping, if the heat fluctuates and changes, it can slowly cool back down to a solid state, and then that grit can return.
Right.
Does pomade have that issue when it goes from hot back down to cold, or do we have to flash cool it too?
So we don't have to flash cool it because the way it's manufactured, I'm not going to go into the nitty gritty details of how it's made, but the way it is made is everything's brought up and mixed very, very well. And when it's poured out, it is let to cool slowly.
Got it.
And so because it's let to cool slowly, it's not going to develop that grit. And because everything's so finely mixed and so homogenous in one goo.
So this formulation, this launch, this will be, I think, the very first launch of products that truly
was 100%.
was 100%. 100%. Like even when Fable Beauty became about, the Wizard worked with the Bard to create a lot of things, especially specifically on my vision for making it really pretty, which was at the core. Like obviously the products had to be great, but the core of it was also like beauty. Ooh. Yes. And we had the initial concept, and then the Bard was like, great, got it. But like it came kind of from us, and then he made sure it was done correctly and perfectly, and we worked together on how, and even then some of the initial ideas of like how we're gonna make things in batches and how big of batches and things like that. Now we've just like completely stepped aside, and like he's got it under control. Like we don't even question that at all. But this is the first product that like we have nothing to do with. And so really what's going to happen is, but it's good because, the Bard signed his soul, so he's here forever. But what's really is like, this is like, he's going to have to make sure other people know, because this is his baby. This is his baby.
In that comfortability and in that trust, it has allowed us to extend that trust in other areas. And we are also in talks with cosmetic manufacturers for beauty.
Yes.
And we have a lot of, there's a reason why we expanded to a secondary warehouse for increased inventory spaces, because
I'm gonna pee my pants. I'm so
I know.
excited.
I know.
I
know.
mean, just think of the possibilities of the thematics around all characters when it comes to
I think about it all the time.
I do too.
palettes. And
You don't even understand.
So
You
for
don't
those
understand.
people are watching, like you're supporting a journey of growth, but we're bringing you the most epic products you're ever going to need. And I am so excited about it because we are here to stay. We are here to stay and be with you forever.
Forever, never, never.
Forever. And
Forever
and just so
never.
you know, the care, the love and the care that goes into the products, they're not coming to you until all of us are like, okay, this is good.
Yeah,
And
until we
I
all sit
think-
here and cry about it
Yep.
when Max talks about
Absolutely, absolutely. But it shows, and I think what I've really loved to see is just like the ownership of these ideas and
I
like
feel
how
bad we didn't
you're.
launch with the Bard.
Also, one thing I will tell you, Max, up until recently, he just like would never. He would just be like, "Oh, I've been, I didn't have the right equipment, so I just been putting my hand into the boiling butter to pour it out because I didn't want to bother you to ask for something." And
There
we're
was
like,
like a
"You
2.5
can let us know."
It's insane.
There was like a 2.5
That didn't really happen,
year
by the
dark-
way.
No,
We're not
dark-
that dumb, but
dark period with Max. I
The
call
dark
it the
years.
dark ages.
The dark
'cause
ages.
He didn't talk.
he did.
Can you imagine that?
No, he just didn't
I
want to
can't
upset
imagine that at
anyone.
all.
He didn't want to upset anybody, but
He would
also
talk. He just wouldn't tell us things he needs, and we're like,
Yeah.
you gotta speak up, dude. We don't know if you
Yeah.
don't tell us.
I'm like, how have you been stirring this? He's like, toothpick.
yeah.
I'm like, what?
a wooden skewer I found outside.
A stick.
I went into the woods and got this twig.
I whittled it down though in my free time. It
No,
works
I
well.
cleaned it and I shaved it down, so it worked.
one of the first things I remember when I knew Max was an epic human being. Like this is the moment. Like again, we knocked it out of the park, but we didn't know what we were getting ourselves into. And I remember the moment I realized that he was an epic human being is that he would take when he was the card waxer and stamper, and for a while that was his job. And everyone kind of did everything, but this is before the lab. Like the lab is where he belongs, but this was
Yes.
before the lab. And he would make figures out of the
my
wax.
God.
Oh,
Bro,
I know.
We had like
He saved many of
glasses
them.
and
Yes.
helmets
Oh, I
made
saw
out of
them.
wax
But that's
stripping.
when I was like, where did these come from? And
It's Max.
he was like, oh yeah, Max makes those. And I was like, okay,
Oh.
okay.
all right.
Look at this vision. He's got the vision.
Oh my gosh,
Truly epic. It's been epic journey.
it has.
But we have had so much fun, and can you believe it? This has flown by so quickly. I feel like we just get going.
It's
and
freaking me
already-
out. I was thinking about it yesterday that we are halfway through this year already,
I
and
know.
I want to jump off a bridge.
I know. I feel
I
I'm
won't
still in
do it, but
December. The good news is I'll be in December when December gets back here, so it'll be great.
It's true.
We'll get through Black Friday better.
Can you believe that we're halfway through this year?
Yeah. It's,
Side
it's
note,
insane.
I am excited for the team that we have.
Me
for
too.
this Q4
Oh,
season.
it's gonna be great.
Because we are going to be in a position with everything that we're doing and all the groundwork that we're laying that we can literally destroy Q4.
It's
and
gonna
I
be
think
amazing.
everybody will be okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, episode 1.5 has
1.5
got to come to an end. Unfortunately, we could sit here all day.
I know,
Yeah.
truly
Yeah.
though.
We could sit here all day, but we'll be back.
We'll be back.
Back.
We'll be backs with Max.
We'll be back.
Yeah, we could be here all day, but the technicians over here giving
I know
me dirty
they have
looks in
to.
the corner.
They have to. Well, the Bard is busy. He's got to make those
true.
pomades. He's got to get
True.
things ready for you all
We got
to
stuff
buy.
to do.
Yeah, and I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna launch that live with the Bard, and he's gonna sign things on launch day. On launch day,
It's gonna be crazy.
I know.
I'm so excited.
I know. And you're probably gonna be hearing this after launch day. So
Sorry if you missed out. That's what you get for not hitting notifications.
I know.
Yeah.
Dummies.
I
Turn on
know.
notifications.
I know.
All socials. Talk Fable to me.
Talk Fable to me. Yes.
I'm
All right.
looking at all the cameras.
Thank you, the Valkyrie. Thank you, the
Thank
Bard.
you.
Thank you, the
Of course,
Wizard.
Thank you.
Yay.
Bye.
And we're done. Goodbye.
Bye.